Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of How Stories Work. Today, I want to go over what is going to be the most important thing that you will ever learn from this series of videos. And while it will be short, it is something that you're going to want to watch over and over again. When it comes to illustrating the particular parts of a story form, you want to make sure that you don't use the words struggle to, or trying to, or want to, and then the term itself as the direct object of that sentence. What does that mean? If we go into the motivations here and we look at the examples that are currently in subtext, you'll notice that there are pairs of elements organized by narrative families. Up here at the top of the profound family, we have ability and desire put together, actuality and perception together, aware and self-aware. Now, if you read these particular illustrations here that I've written for each element, you'll notice that I never use these words ability, desire, or actuality and perception as the direct object of a sentence. That's when you run into that Mad Libs sort of problem that some people seem to think that is what the dramatica theory of story and subtext is all about. Really, these elements are signals to you, the author, as to what is motivating this character to either create problems or to push through problems. It's not that Malcolm Crowe here in The Sixth Sense is struggling to perceive what's going on. He actually has problematic perceptions. And it's not that Cole is trying to tell everybody what's really going on. It's the fact that what's really going on is motivating him to act really strange. And so actuality is problematic for Cole in the same way that perception is problematic for Malcolm. The same thing exists if you look at Dom Cobb in Inception and his wife, Mallory. Dom is motivated by his awareness of everything around him. He's not struggling to maintain that awareness. He's not trying to be aware. He doesn't want to be aware. The fact that he's motivated towards awareness is what's creating his problems. Same thing with Mal. She doesn't want her husband to be self-aware or to be self-possessed the same way that she is. She's lost in her own self-awareness, and that's problematic for her. When you come into a story, and we'll just drop into Michael Clayton here just as an example, and let's say we look at the plot here, and this happens at every level. It happens at the act level, the scene level, and the scene beat level. Here, you can get an idea of it with this prompt. How does being on hand for a group create conflict for everyone? It's not that Michael is struggling to stay afloat in the present. It's that Michael's current state of affairs makes it impossible for him to turn down the due north offer. It's the issue of present. If you think of present as an active verb, presenting instead of presenting something, that's what you want to write about. It's not that he struggles to deal with the present or tries to deal with the present or wants an easier present. It's that the immediacy of the here and now is problematic for him, and he has to deal with it. Same thing with the individual scenes. If I break down the scenes here, we have prerequisites, strategy, analysis, and preconditions as the four scenes of present. And this isn't supposed to be an in-depth analysis of Michael Clayton. I'm just using it as an example. So it isn't that Michael struggles to figure out the initial steps to take care of the north problem. What it is probably the Tilda Swinton character. Karen does her due diligence for Arthur and everyone else involved. Case making it clear that North is not backing down. The fact that she's doing her due diligence, she's taking the initial steps, is what's creating the potential for all the conflict in the entire story. She is prerequisiting going through those initial steps, and that's problematic for Michael and for Arthur and for all the victims of their chemicals. And again, that happens down here at the beat levels. If I break down the scene here, we will see the beats of that scene: proven, theory, hunch, and presumption. But isn't that Karen struggles to combat the proven fact that their chemicals kill people? And she's not trying to prove that they don't kill people. And it's not that she doesn't want to prove that North is guilty. All those are using the thematic conflict of this particular story beat, in this case proven, as a direct object, which is an incorrect way to use the story form, which is where most people get into trouble. If you are ever using struggling to or trying to or wanting to, I've always found that's the writer completely avoiding writing conflict, that they're trying to get around it and they're trying to write the back of the novel, or back in the day, the back of the DVD box. They're writing a synopsis for their agent. They're not actually investing in what the source of conflict is in this particular story beat. So the way to fix that, there's no doubt that New North's chemicals cause cancer for those who come into close contact with them, creating a situation where the company stands to lose billions and billions of dollars, giving them the motivation to go to any length to keep this hidden. That's the problem. This is the setup for everything that comes in the rest of the story, and that's what drives her to do her due diligence. If you want to make sure that you're using the story form and that you're writing and illustrating each of these story points and leveraging them to the utmost of their abilities, make sure you don't use struggling to, trying to, wanting to, or anything else like that, and that you look at these as actual sources of conflict. That's it for today's How Stories Work. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow.